Ag Life, presented by ADM Lloydminster.
Hello and welcome again to our agriculture show, Ag Life. I'm Gerard Lampow, and on the menu, more from the Powering Your Profits tour. Plus, we continue the series Real Farm Lives. We meet the Ardiels and we learn about clean farms. Stick around for that. But first, the price of oil, the political climate, and then the weak dollar. I have a chat with a market analyst who says a weak dollar is not necessarily a bad thing.
75 cents is not a bad spot. You know, if we started going to 80 cents, we would start to see that impact Canadian cattle prices. So we would see our cattle prices would be negatively impacted by an 80-cent dollar.
Calgary-based analyst Brian Perillat says 2018 was a fairly good year for the markets. He says prices were generally flat throughout the calendar year with less volatility.
A year ago, we were looking at, more beef production, more meat production in general. Which all, came to fruition, but, prices for the most part were pretty stable. Actually, if you look at calves, they're probably averaging in the, over the entire year near $2.20, $2.25 a pound. So even through the fall run, calf prices still, for the most part, stayed over $2 a pound.
On finished animals, he saw those prices range from $1.40 to $1.65 a pound. He compares this to the summer low of 2016, which went down to $1.32.
So, the summer lows, were 10 cents a pound higher than 2016. So that was a positive sign, despite having, we processed 7% more cattle in Canada, and the prices were better.
The grain side and canola remain under pressure with the U.S.-China trade battle, with soybeans as the backdrop.
Soybeans really got hammered in the United States, so that definitely impacted our canola market here. Just going to have more oil seeds, more soybean, big carryover of soybeans in the United States.
Canola is still over $10, averaging about $10 to $10.50. Perillat sees opportunities for canola growers to lock in at about $11 for the summer. On the feed side, barley is still riding high. The price of corn is ticking up, with the Canadian dollar showing weakness below 80 cents.
Barley prices have been quite strong. So for guys who grew barley, they're seeing barley prices in the Lethbridge, over $5.50 a bushel, which is quite high. So it's not bad for guys selling barley, but for the guys feeding barley, which impacts cattle prices and stuff, those barley prices are getting pretty high.
Perillat points to the volume of corn being imported, and with the Canadian dollar being weak and the cost of importing corn rising, barley is also following corn.
Maybe for the Canadian economy and stuff like that, we don't want the dollar, the weak dollar is not particularly good from a buying perspective. 80 cents isn't bad, but from a cattle market perspective, 75 cents is not a bad spot. Yeah, we don't want it too weak, but for cattle prices, a lower dollar is usually beneficial.
Demand for beef remains strong at about $2.6 billion in exports for 2018. Perillat is optimistic about 2019.
We've actually seen extremely good beef demand, both Canadian, domestically, and internationally. It's looking like 2018 could be the third year in a row where we've actually seen Canadians eating more beef per capita.
There's concern on the pork side as China continues to battle with swine fever, and with the South American crop nearing harvest, concern remains on grain and oil seeds.
If some of these trade issues continue, or we see some global, and I guess back to demand again, if we do start to see China slow down, or the U.S., all these stock markets have been so volatile.
Time now to roll our events calendar. If you want to get in on this part of the show, just email me, glampow@newcap.ca. Let's have a look. And still to come, more from the Powering Your Profits tour. Do stay with us.
This segment of Ag Life is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Webb's Machinery, your New Holland dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, and Lamont.
The ag industry continues to face numerous challenges as producers seek to grow the food that we eat. Here's another look at these issues from the Powering Your Profits tour.
So buying some garden shears is really helpful.
It's really nice to get out here and meet some producers and then also just to hear what they're hearing about the industry.
Michaela Moen was one of the participants at the recent Powering Your Profits tour hosted by Alberta Canola.
We do 12 meetings across the province, and we want to tell growers about the activities that we do on their behalf because we are a grower organization. So what we did today is we highlighted our main areas and what we're doing in the areas of research. We do spend a lot of money on agronomic research to help growers grow canola. And then we also do quite a bit of government and industry affairs work, which is policy work and working with government to ensure that policies put in place by the government are favorable to agriculture and helping them understand the challenges and the issues that farmers have.
Alberta Canola also does outreach to students and consumers as they break down the many issues in our food story.
To help them understand that canola really is the local, healthy, and versatile oil choice, and that agriculture benefits the Alberta economy and the Alberta environment. And then I look after the grower relations and extension end of things, which is putting on meetings like this, other educational opportunities, and making sure growers are aware of the resources and tools they need to be successful in the long term.
Taliu touches the hot button topics.
So on the policy side, at some of the meetings, we're covering the neonic issue that's going on with the review with the PMRA, where they're reevaluating the safety of the neonics, which is a seed treatment used to control flea beetles. And farmers are very concerned about losing a valuable tool to them which has been proven through science to be safe and effective. But there has been a review triggered, so through our policy people, we need to work through that and work with the PMRA and the federal government to make sure that the safe tools are continued to be available to our farmers.
PMRA reviews are required by law every 15 years or can be triggered by new scientific evidence or by public opinion. Some 369 reviews are scheduled going forward to 2028. A review can take 2 to 5 years. There is industry concern, especially where Canada is seeking more European access, and a pesticide ban there can trigger a review here.
If you lose a safe and effective tool, sometimes the alternatives may not be in place yet, or they may not be as economically or environmentally friendly as the ones that we have. So,
ag producers have a lot to chew on even as they face what's going on with their own operations.
For me, just being a financial person, it was the financial talk, it was even the succession talking with the land titles, just as my family is going through some succession right now.
And some great news. Health Canada has concluded its review of the pesticide, glyphosate, products like Roundup and such, and the language is that you use according to label directions, totally safe, all right? So producers and even consumers can continue to use these products, for example, Roundup, in their gardens and as well on the farm. When we come back, it's time for Real Farm Lives, this time the Ardiels of Ontario. Do stay with us. It's time now for the online series Real Farm Lives. Let's meet the Ardiels from Ontario.
This farm was one of my dad's, so at one point I decided I wanted to do this too. So I bought this farm from him that already had 3 acres of old standard orchard on it. And I thought that was a good way to start. Well, it was a way to start, but it might not have been the best. I'm Shane Ardiel. I'm here on the farm with my son Kyle and my lead work hand, Kemroy. And we are here in Clarksburg, Ontario, right on the shores of Georgian Bay. And we grow apples. We have 90 acres of orchard. The favorites are Ambrosia, Honeycrisp, and Gala. We have a lot of those on high-density orchards that we've planted recently. We've been renovating for 15-some years, and it's a continual process. We were started out at 125 trees to the acre. Now I'm planting 2,000 trees to the acre.
On an average day, we will all meet in the yard around 7:45, right before everyone heads out.
Morning, Kimroy.
Morning. Discuss which blocks we're going to be going into, how the maturity is going, what color and size we're expecting to pick.
We had a nice start into those Honeycrisp yesterday. They're looking good. I like what I see. We'll go out there, give it the same as we gave yesterday, and we should have a good day. Everybody stay safe and stay hydrated. You're all set up, Kimroy. You're ready to go on that tractor, right?
Okay, thanks for that. Okay. I'm Gerard. I am from Jamaica. It's a very good system that both government have come together and put forward. It helps me to take care of my family, and you know, it benefits even the community.
It's nice having the same employees come back year after year, see how they grow personally and how we grow with them.
Those are nice ones, Kimroy.
Yeah.
The color we want to see, that is really good. Beautiful apple.
Yeah.
We get them all like that. We can't get them all like that, but we're going to get most of them.
A crew leader makes sure that the guys are productive at all times, easier for the guys, get more bins picked, and have a productive day.
In order to get these apples to the consumer, we go through many trials and tribulations. We end up with decisions to make about what pest to attack and whether that pest is in there that's going to cause us economic damage. When it gets close to doing that, we have to go in with a product and we eliminate it.
In Ontario, in order to spray pesticides, we need to pass the Ontario pesticide course. This allows us to use products that have been cleared and registered with Health Canada. I incorporate a scout in our spray program to determine when I typically spray. So that scout will go through the orchard with me, and we will look at bugs on the tree, which are always there.
We sprayed at the optimum time, and we've got a very nice, clean crop. It's a never-ending process, and every year there seems to be maybe something else that is cropping up that we have to be attuned to, and we have to deal with it as it comes along. One of them that has cropped up in the last few years has been the woolly apple aphid. It can be devastating for a grower, and last year we did have a fair amount of damage from it.
So that at that point, we will determine we better come in and take care of this with a particular product that affects them.
We're going for 6 to 8 weeks, pretty much every day. The only time we'll probably take off is when it's raining. So it gets hectic. They're long days. It's hard work. At the end, it's very fulfilling for us and our workers. We're looking forward to a good season. And so far, it's looking pretty good. Nice slow draw, and they go in very gently. Beautiful, Trevor. That's what I like to see, the good fruit coming in. This guy's job's easier. They don't want to overwork you.
No, can be very hectic at times.
Kimroy here is pretty good at knowing what I want. Once in a while, we might go, well, we want more color, we go deeper, we go lighter, and him and I keep in contact throughout the day.
I try to keep the guys in line, that the apples don't get bruised. Be tender and gentle, and make sure that the bins are prepared and ready.
I found that Kimroy has a very good way with the other men. He can get them motivated and gets them moving. He's far better than I could be.
He's a natural leader.
He's a natural leader, that's what he is.
On target, fresh blood, on target.
I know we got Ozzy here. Ozzy's a master at this, spot picking. And we pick them gently. We've got to give those a nice little twist. And sometimes that's what happens. If these things are two of them together, you've got to pick both of them at the same time, or else one drops. And that drops, and when it goes down through, you'll bruise the apples on the way down. 10 minutes a bin, guys? That's not bad.
And it's good when you thin properly.
That guy that does the thinning, sometimes he does a good job, sometimes
Messes up.
he should put more thinner in. I think you're referring to me, Kemroy.
Yeah, man.
Every year I learn more about thinning.
We have a good camaraderie, and we just do what we got to do. Have a wonderful time, go back home, see our wife and kids.
After a few bins are picked, we will bring the tractor in with the bin carrier, pick up 5 bins, bring them to the yard. Hey, how are you?
Good.
Guys are doing well. Nice color, nice size, I think.
These are looking pretty good. We've gotten some, you know, 80, 88s in there, 72s.
Good.
I don't see any small ones, which this year it's amazing because we've been fighting for water and we've been irrigating, which is a godsend. That's helped us tremendously.
That we wouldn't be doing very well.
Okay, well, we can probably get some more in here and
Yeah, I'm
stack
about to
them up.
grab some more bins and pull them out, and then we should keep going.
Sounds good. There's been a lot of changes in the past, and there's going to be more changes in the future. One of the changes is going to be that I hope to retire in the near future, and that is why I brought my son Kyle on, so that the farm stays in the family, and it continues to be an operating farm.
Working outside and enjoying the fresh air and providing a product that consumers will enjoy gives me pride in my work. So coming back to the farm was one of the best decisions I've ever done. It's worked out for me and it's working out for him.
I hope he follows his dad's footsteps, being very considerate and loving to the guys also. Nice, man. Oh, my man. Lovely, man. Lovely. It's a good thing planted food now. I can come and get something to eat.
It's even gotten to the point now that this past year we share in our gardens.
Oh, yeah.
Now, sometimes you guys are doing more gardening than me, but but that's worked out quite well.
I realized that we wouldn't be here without these guys. Working with them and going forward will always be there, so we can still provide a healthy, safe product for the consumers in Canada that's grown here in Ontario.
Being here, it's my second home. There are times when you miss your family, but we also come together as a team and we stick to each other, and we are like a family too. And Shane and his family, they makes us feel comfortable.
And we'll continue with the story of the Ardiels of Ontario. They're looking at their farm life and all of the apples that they produce. We'll continue that story in the next edition of Ag Life. An industry-led effort is changing the landscape when it comes to cleaning farms. We'll have that story. Do stay with us.
Ag Life, presented by ADM Lloydminster.
An industry-led initiative is taking shape as the ag sector regulates its own recycling programs. Let's learn about Clean Farms.
Clean Farms organizes as a federated nonprofit stewardship organization that's industry funded across Canada from coast to coast to coast. And the programs that we deliver are industry funded.
Tammy Shields is the Western Coordinator for Clean Farms operating out of their Moose Jaw office. She works on 2 programs across Saskatchewan and Manitoba. There are 5 programs that the organization delivers across the country.
Chemical jugs, so the small container chemical jugs, the pesticide containers funded by the industry, as well as the non-deposit bulk containers, seed and pesticide bags, obsolete chemical collection, as well as obsolete animal health products.
Some of the programs are in pilot phases with some government funding, but eventually leading to a program management plan that Clean Farms will facilitate across the country.
In Saskatchewan, I'm mainly responsible for the grain bag program. So the grain bag recycling program has been running for about 7 years in a pilot phase, and Clean Farms now is the program manager.
Clean Farms partners with several stakeholders in the waste and recycling sector that also have a specialty in agriculture waste management. This helps municipalities keep grain bags out of the landfills.
I started the program for grain bag recycling out of seeking a need to fulfill the municipalities' concerns about grain bags getting caught up in their machines, arriving in their landfills, and whether there is an option to divert them from the landfill and or burning on the farm.
With those concerns, Shields hosted the first collection pilot in Milestone in 2010, regulation came in 2016, and in 2017, Clean Farms became the program manager. This allows for an end-of-life program for grain bags.
Producers roll them up on farm and bring them into one of our 26 collection sites across Saskatchewan. And when it's in a baled, secured medium, the grain bags are now able to be recycled easily and loaded into a truck, a trailer, and we can ship them away from recycling.
Apart from this facility near Spears, there are similar grain bag collection sites near Marshall, Meadow Lake, Spiritwood, and Unity.
On our website, cleanfarms.ca, we do have some preparation steps that will help producers lead them through that process in order to bring them in.
Well, that's a wrap on this edition of Ag Life. I'm Gerard Lampow. As always, yours in Ag. Take care.